Hello, I am talking to you guys from Korea. I did make it back here a couple days ago and I'm in this new place. My sister and my family kind of thought that it'd be best for me to have my own apartment for a while I'm here, especially because it's just a lot closer to where I'll be working. So shout outs to my family. Yeah, so it's just been a couple days in quarantine and I just thought I'd give you guys a quick little update so far. Number one, I was kind of gonna vlog it, just like how I vlogged every single flight I went through during these times, but I was like, yo, I'm literally gonna be doing the exact same thing, so why the frick would I vlog it? If you wanna check out how I survived the 14-day quarantine and how you too can survive the 14-day quarantine, check my channel out. There's literally a whole series on it. I just wanna take this time to kind of talk about something that the news doesn't really cover as much, it being mental health. In the news, you see that this new virus that attacks the respiratory system is considered a virus that attacks you physically and it just destroys your body, which it does. But I feel like we need to talk about something that I personally had to go through, and it's basically something that was very detrimental to my mental health. Once you get that positive, first things first, it's that complete isolation. And it's not the isolation I felt during quarantine, in Korea, the mandatory quarantine and stuff, but it's more of an isolation where you actually physically feel super alone. When that happened, I did not have any physical contact with anyone. And to be honest, luckily it was in Chicago, because Chicago is not really a place where I have my friends or family there. So being isolating in Chicago wasn't really a new thing for me. I was thinking about it in a way that if I was in LA or Korea, man, this really would be hard. That mandatory quarantine, not because of a government, but because you are a sick person, it kind of changed how I viewed isolation. So which kind of leads me to another thought process of just how I could be a danger to anyone that I come in contact with. I think that is where mentally I just couldn't really take it. Because as a healthcare worker and as a student that's learning his way through the healthcare system and finding his place in there, I feel like my main job as a person and just my entire life, it was to create a sense of healing towards someone. That I'm the healer for that person, because that's what my occupation is, or will be. But I was thinking oh man, how many people was I hurting? You know, how many people was I spreading it to? And just these dark things just come into your mind. It's man, I thought I'm supposed to be the one fixing and helping people, and yet I feel it's that guilt, you know? That guilt that kind of eats you up alive. And also because it's a new virus, there's no guarantee of anything. Just knowing that, and just also the fact that the news is non-stop telling you that, oh, you could die, you could lose limbs, blah, blah, blah. It's just, you're also in that panic state while feeling guilty, while being isolated. I honestly felt like this is such a bad analogy, but you know that scene where Eddie Brock is what the heck are you to Venom? Man, I actually felt like Eddie Brock and Venom. But yeah, but through all that, my mentality also became isolated from people. People would check up on me and I just didn't want to talk to them. I found myself distancing myself from a lot of people, and I realized that I was having symptoms of depression and anxiety. I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, I felt so trashy. I felt so dark. I couldn't get this darkness away from me, and it was just so scary. Look, we all know that this virus will physically hurt you. It will. And that's the reason why we need to maintain these protocols right now. I don't want anyone to get this virus, because I know that it can affect people negatively in terms of their mental health. It is a realm that needs more exploration and studies. There's studies saying that this thing ages you, but man, I could see how it literally can mentally age you. It's not fun. For me, I think I am worried about just what this can do in the long run for me, just mentally. For someone that did kind of have to deal with some mental health issues when he was young, it is a little bit worrying, but it is something I know I can overcome. But right now, I just need to overcome quarantine.